Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and this is my first time being on the show with YK in a long time.
Yay! Good morning.
And we are blowing together.
Yes, so we are, you know, I've been wearing blue because I wanted to take a picture with my McNissy bag.
Oh, it's a beautiful bag, right?
Beautiful, beautiful bag. And I finally did taken done the video, and I have to thank Amaka. It was a very lovely bag. Oh, this is the first time I'm hearing you do birthday and give me presents. Please be doing birthday like that. Yes. All of you, what's wrong with all of you? Amaka is setting the pace, man.
Oh yeah, so the new
Amaka is setting the pace. When you do your birthday, you give me presents. When I do my birthday, I give you presents. Let's be doing it like that. I'm not giving anybody gift again. I'm expecting gift on your birthdays now.
Okay, how's your road? I saw you celebrating last week.
Yes, so they are still tying. They are still greeting and
yeah,
we are on full prayer that they will finish it.
Yes,
they are full prayer. I text me
this December. I will do Christmas.
First time we just
we will dance. We will do celebration on the streets. We will dance.
Very good.
Meanwhile, I had a very hectic weekend. Hectic weekend.
Countdown to celebration.
Not even celebration. Not even celebration. Even though we are doing countdown, but on Friday we had the PJ Morton from New Orleans. They performed at the Shrine their first time in Nigeria, and so very very fantastic concert. Full band. It was very very good. And then on Saturday, I went to Moabudu's party and I drank champagne. Champagne was everywhere. Everywhere. And they was just eyeing me. I was just looking at you.
You are finished.
You used to be the one for
you are finished grammar duty, so it's time to
bubble.
Yeah.
And then of course on Sunday jump. So I'm not myself today. So if I fall asleep on set, please forgive me, everybody.
You have heard. Nima, how you doing?
Fine. I'm very grateful to God. So grateful. My kids started school today. I've not checked on the other one, but the one with me showed me drama. He doesn't like to take his food lunch to school. Likes just a few biscuits,
snacks,
and his bottled water. No drinks, nothing. And we had a talk about it because I worry how he survives the hours till 5, but the boy not be here.
Because it's at 5.
Till 5 p.m. when he returns, doesn't want to eat anything but his biscuits and his water. If I put anything in that bag, he's going to bring it back to me. He's done it all these years he's been in school.
So fasting is going to be very easy for him then.
I'm telling you, and he doesn't like to fast. His Ramadan is the one that says, "No, I don't think I can survive fasting." He does it. So I was worried. Tomorrow is his birthday. He'll be 8 years old.
Like that though.
I'm refusing to be angry with him because we have to be in the mood to
8.
Wow. Just like yesterday.
That journey. I'm so grateful to God for.
Exactly.
Imran, Amanesi Oshune. Zibiri, I love you very much. You're a special.
And we're celebrating all week long.
Yeah, it's a week long without his sister. We'll try and call her on video call on Sunday or Saturday. I'm so grateful.
So, YK and I are in the blue, and you guys are in the green family.
Yes,
so, Amaka, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm blessed. I'm wonderful.
Are you chosen?
I'm not doing. When I saw that testimony, like, please, I don't want to get into.
Oh yeah, so just go with your
partner. So I'm learning to do my affirmations again. Yeah. So every morning, really, and it's so good now that immediately I just get up, my alarm just goes off. I open my eyes, I start affirming. I'm in the bathroom, and it's just been wonderful.
It's really good.
Yes, and then you guys should help me thank my darling colleague Nima. She's really helping me and encouraging me with my well-being, my new well-being stuff.
Me?
So she gave me the ginger and honey. I'm not a morning person. I don't take anything in my tummy before 11 or 12. But then with Nima now, she now makes me like in the morning, with the lemon. And she got me lemons this today. Right, so I now put it in hot water so I can take the hot water to cleanse. My mom has been telling me forever to do that. That helps me. I've not been doing it, but now, thanks, Nima.
My fans will be
thank you so much.
This Nima that is for 4.
Yeah, it's for 4.
I eat by
honestly.
She's balanced. That's the thing.
You look so beautiful.
I'm very good, very grateful. I don't know what I'm channeling, but somebody gave me this scarf and he said, "Oh, you just put it on your shoulder. You can wear it with your suit." I said, "Okay." let me put it on my shoulder. I realized they had the Eiffel Tower, and I'm thinking, imagine all the things we can do if we have like Olumo Rock on our scarf, have
National
Theatre
is a very
beautiful on our scarf, the Abuja gates on our scarves, and
Even
there are many ways we can make.
Bridge,
Yes, there are many ways we can monetize and proudly wear our culture. I am very grateful. Before we came on the show, I said I want to thank everybody, all my customers. Thank you, everybody that has made inquiries for real estate. Thank you. For those gathering the money, God will make it complete. Thank you in advance, but I'm very grateful. I have the best customers in the world. And
apparently you told me that I was with your customers, your clients.
Yes, one of my customers saw her in UK and they had a picture together and they sent to me that, we saw, I have them all around the world.
TikTok video.
Nice.
I was on TikTok.
We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we'll continue with Front Page Review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we're starting up the Front Page Review with The Nation. Major headline, Tinubu plans disaster relief funds to battle flooding others. President was in Maiduguri. You can't miss the picture in The Nation. He was flanked by the governor of Borno as well as the NNPC Group CEO Mele Kyari. And then the state chief. It was also in that picture is the Senate President, Akpabio, as well as Ambassador Victor Adeleke. In other news, JAMB slashes UTME fee for persons living with disabilities. Edo 2024, REC won't be removed, INEC tells Obaseki PDP. 35 sadly die in crash on their way to Maulud celebration. Lagos wants abusers as Maryland to Ojota Bridge reopens. 2027, can Jonathan contest? And NNPCL's price template on Dangote petrol stirs controversy. What are we starting with?
Major headline, the president immediately after returning from his China trip went straight to Borno. Of course, we know Maiduguri had suffered a flood and he went to see things on ground. This one is commendable because I didn't experience it. But, he went immediately. He visited one of the 36 camps, for relief where displaced persons are quartered. And he also visited the Shehu of Borno. And he visited the governor of Borno as well. And he says that if we take a small percentage from the FAC and put it in as a disaster relief fund, this will include all of you. So he hinted that a percentage of our FAC Federal Account Allocation Committee's contribution will go towards the relief funds. He also was quoted by the Vice President that he had already given 108 billion to the 36 states, which accounts for about 3 billion each to battle flooding, which is expected. He commended Governor Zulum for being an active governor, and then he said this disaster was a natural one. I totally disagree. He said it was not the making of anybody and we cannot pass blame. We pray that Almighty Allah grants relief to the souls of the departed. But I disagree. This disaster could have been averted. If we just maintain the dam, probably we would not be here. We are here now, so let's just worry about the...
But I thought they said it was because they opened the dam in Cameroon. That's why that one...
But we have a dam that will collect here. We did not maintain, so there was a
break.
Overflow on our dam here.
Yeah.
And that warning had been given out. Don't know what the governor was doing, what the representatives of that area were doing, but they didn't maintain it.
I'm hoping that the president's visits.
Slow release of our water
Yes.
to mitigate. It happens all the time.
And this is a yearly occurrence, so they should be more prepared. This should not happen every day to mitigate.
No, there's a particular gate because we had one of the house honorable members, and there was a particular thing that needs to be fixed. It hasn't been fixed in 30 years, and I'm hoping that they can't fix by themselves. So the president being there should mean the funds for the fixing should be released, and they should work on it.
I saw a very disturbing video, and I'm hoping it's not true, where they were throwing bread to them.
That could be any NGO.
Yeah.
The president also extended the sympathy to governments of other states also affected by the flood. Yobe and other governors of other states who came to visit. Said, for all the people of Yobe, I sympathize with you. We will create an outstanding program for Nigeria to recover from this calamity, build a nation together. And I hope that his words are not just, words, but action is put to it. We can't avert things like this. We are grateful that I've not reached Lagos. Every day, that's all I wake up saying to God. Today.
Right. What other stories do we have?
I took the Ojota Bridge.
Finally.
Yeah, the Maryland Ojota Bridge. I didn't know they were doing that bridge. I went and entered that go-slow. Hey!
Yeah, me too.
Ha!
It's terrible. So now they've opened both sides, right?
They said it has been reopened, and they declared zero tolerance for the infrastructure abuse. This the deputy governor was the one that opened it. Governor Obafemi Hamzat, deputy governor, sorry, and he said that they keep on taking the covers from the manholes. The manholes are there to protect the citizens from falling through the bridges, but they keep taking it because it's still that. Now they've put fiberglass, and that fiberglass is useless to you, and it's heavy. So if you steal it, you are just stealing it because you can't use it for anything. So please just leave it. And then they take the what they call those things?
Rails?
Not the rails, the joints, the expansion joints. That they steal the expansion joints, and all this is, it's dangerous. And that if they catch anybody, they will discipline the person.
I need to just appeal to Nigerians. Let's not do what we do.
I want to even suggest that they should put cameras there.
Yeah. There are many things.
How many?
But then it's okay because they can also use to monitor speed in the area.
You monitor speed, you catch the people who are stealing, and because how do you think
how do we justify replacing
in Europe and America and all those places that they just leave them? You think if there were no cameras there, people would not be misbehaving? They will misbehave, but there are cameras everywhere. So you think twice before you misbehave.
That's true. Anyways, I have this sad story. Yesterday was the Maulud celebration, and at least 35 Muslims heading to Saminaka in Lanre, local government area of Kaduna State, yesterday died in an auto crash. They were in a J5 Volkswagen, and they had a head-on collision with another vehicle. It was reported that there were over 70 people, mostly boys, and 25 died instantly on the scene, while 10 died when they were rushed to the Plateau State, hospital. Yeah, the Jos University Teaching Hospital. When they were rushed there for treatment, 10 people also died, making 35 as at the time this report was, handed over. And then over 48 people are still in the hospital receiving treatment. This is so sad. The First Lady, Senator Oleremi Tinubu, also sympathized with everybody, and then also felicitated with the Muslim community, saying that that the nation's strength lies in its diversity, urging citizens to come together to promote a peaceful coexistence that transcends religious boundaries. We're sending, condolences and heartfelt condolences to the families that were affected. This is so sad.
Very sad.
May Allah be with everybody. Amen.
All right, moving on to the next paper, The Punch. Major headline, Edo government Edo governor polls. Petrol crisis threaten election as APC, PDP are set for showdown. INEC transporters review election materials, personnel carriage contracts, and parties rejig last-minute strategies. Of course, the picture in Punch again carries the fact that the president has visited Borno State, Maiduguri most importantly, to commiserate with people. Tinubu visits Borno, pledges support for flood victims. Flood-related news. Flood sacks 404 million from Nigerian schools. Others, that's from World Bank. Under 14 candidates, jammed to limit interactions with under 18 candidates, jammed to limit interactions with applicants. In other news, SIM NIN linkage, 65 million GSM lines risk disconnections. Ogun landlord defies tenant's 14-year-old daughter. NLC Abure-led National Working Committee rejects new Labour Party faction. And the story that has been, I think, is in every paper, 950 naira per litre Dangote petrol may justify more importation. That's from marketers. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we would dive into the stories in the Punch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this. Because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking, because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I know.
I don't overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good talking.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
Ladies of your view are made of.
We got 404 million students globally. Within us in Nigeria, due to the recent northern floods that are coming southwards, who have been displaced from school. So this report attributes flooding to about 81 countries, temporarily shutting down schools, due to floods, storms, heat wave. So just to highlight things, we of course in the report is highlighting climate change, including floods, as causing significant school closures, and notes that these disruptions remain largely invisible because they are not being tracked by relevant authorities. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics recently reported that students in some parts of Nigeria miss school for 53 days, which of course brings us within this research. And the report that Nigerian Flood Impact Recovery Mitigation Assessment report for 2022 and 2023 indicates approximately 1.3 million Nigerians were affected by flooding between July and October 2022. So we are, of course, in this, and I hope that this report and statistics that we are getting, the states mentioned, of course, are severely affected states: Bayelsa, Delta, Anambra, Kogi, Nasarawa, and Jigawa, among others. You know, we'll see an improvement of some sort in these states. It's important that as we take these reports, we're working with it to avert future consequences.
Definitely.
So I took the Ogun State, the landlord defiling his tenant's 14-year-old daughter. They said his name is Bola Tobiloba. The neighbors found her hunched up, bleeding, and she was drenched in blood from her private part. So they took her to the hospital and then the police station, and the police have said he's going to face the full wrath of the law. The survivor's father took her to the hospital. It's just a very, very terrible, distasteful story. Why will you do that? You know, you have to have raped her, a 14-year-old girl. I mean, no.
So sad.
I just, you know, and they even spoke about another one, that's a 55-year-old that on the 3rd of September, he defiled his neighbor's 13-year-old daughter. I don't know what's wrong with all these people. I really don't know what's wrong with them.
It's everywhere.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think people should be, try to guard their children more.
We need to do
Even though
it
you feel like you're in the same compound, they're in a safe space, just, you know, put an eye. Yeah. All right. So I have the under 18 candidates, you know, as part of measures to prevent extortion and enhance service delivery. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says that's concluded arrangements to fully automate its services to reduce physical contact with candidates. And this is because most of the candidates that write JAMB are under 18. They are young. And then they've been getting lots of reports of so a lot of issues, extortion. So they're saying that they want to limit the physical contact so that they can address those issues of exploitation. They also said the Professor Oloyede, who happens to be the JAMB registrar, said that he's urging students that will have accused JAMB officials of extorting exploitation, that they should come forward with strong physical evidence that can enable them, credible evidence that can enable them pursue these issues, that he can vouch for 99% of his officials, but that if you have anything, if any of the officials is found wanting, that the full extent of the law be used against the person. So basically, this is a good one.
JAMB also announced a reduction in the cost of the purchase of JAMB forms for living with disabilities. And also promised to improve to include free transportation to their centers. Visually impaired candidates.
That's commendable. I want to take the fact that the NIN SIM NIN linkage has been any line, about 65 million lines that did not connect themselves via NIN are now disconnected. They didn't get the extension they were hoping for. So
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of Your View are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Get ready to step into the heartbeat of your city like never before. Welcome to Events Diary, where every moment is a celebration. From the electric energy of Owambe extravaganza, to the richness of our culture, to the sophistication of corporate gatherings, Events Diary is your VIP pass to the hottest gatherings in Nigeria. And guess what? I'll be your guide, your style icon. Each week, join me as I transform from traditional chic to corporate sleek. Whether it's a birthday bash or a high-profile gala, you won't just see it, you'll feel like you're right there with me. Aww. From meetings to evening soirees, I'll be there. Or to the trendiest street festivals, or to music.
I attacked Plateau again. It happened between 7 p.m. and 7:30 when youths were on their way from Mba town to Co Village and they were ambushed.
That's basically the story. Okay. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, major headline: Hitman tackles NNPCL over petrol price template. Says it's senseless to sell Dangote fuel higher than imported ones. Corporation is ready to sell at 950 per litre in Lagos and 1,050 in Maiduguri. In other news, NIMET predicts 3 days thunderstorm rains from today. More donations for Borno flood victim as the president visits vows to fight climate change impact. 4 days to the Edo election, PDP, APC supporters at ante, up the ante. Federal government set to exploit 7 trillion allow markets, and no reversal on model colleges' new boarding fees. Lagos government insists. What story do we have?
Okay, so the boarding fees have been an issue. The model colleges in Lagos had their fees increased from 35,000 to 100,000 naira as this new boarding fee. As announced by the Deputy Director of Public Affairs, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Ganyu Lawal, said that there was no going back on these fees. Parents had led protests saying that Lagos State provides should revert to the old fees, but Mr. Lawal is insisting that Lagos State provides free education in 1,021 primary schools, 369 junior secondary schools, and 329 senior secondary schools, which includes the 32 model colleges across the state. But the cost of boarding fees continue to be that cheap and is costing, so they expect that parents will continue to pay. They also exempted Vetland junior and senior secondary schools and all the model colleges. Those are the places where they have to increase school fees. The Vetland junior and senior secondary schools and all the model colleges that are boarding schools. So their boarding fees, they insist, must be paid as from this new term as 100,000.
You can't avoid it because of the cost of food. They have to provide food. And who has NIMET story? Thunderstorms.
Okay, I have the thunderstorms. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted thundery and rainy weather conditions from Tuesday, which is today, all up until Thursday across the country. According to the news agency of Nigeria, NIMET's weather outlook released on Monday says that the storms will spread over parts of Bauchi, Kebbi, Taraba, Kano, Katsina, Adamawa, and Kaduna, especially during the morning hours, and that in some of the northern states too, Abuja will be affected, Benue, And in some of the southern regions, we have Oyo, Ogun, Osun, Ondo, Ekiti, Enugu, Imo, Edo, Cross River, Delta, Akwa Ibom. Thank God Lagos is not affected, but we sympathize, and then everybody should just be careful because between now and Thursday there'll be thunderstorms.
All right, final paper for today. Vanguard major headline. We definitely will be discussing Dangote petrol. Nigerians to pay $9.50. There's still back and forth between both of them, and food prices. Others ease pressure on August inflation rate. In other news, Bet Niger Foundation honors 100 graduates with scholarship. Okonjo-Iweala Seki second time taking the story already. I think we're taking all the major stories in this paper. Which one?
Inflation.
Oh yeah, so food price and inflation is the last.
Food prices have, we've recently enjoyed a drop in the cost of food prices. This has not translated to higher purchasing power, but according to the National Bureau of Statistics again, our food index dropped by 2% to 37.52% as opposed to the 39.53% we had in July. So this August was a drop in prices of tobacco, tea, cocoa, coffee, groundnut, milk, yam, Irish potatoes, water yam, cassava, tuber, palm oil, and vegetable. And this is commendable. We are enjoying it. Also, in the same report, it has not increased our purchasing power, but things have really improved. We can attest to it.
All right. Yes, definitely can attest to it. Food prices have come down. We'll take a quick break now. When we return, we continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
So creamy.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
my 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Yeah, that's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show, Fadala.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back?
You should start the gym to get fat.
Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference?
There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
It's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question. Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You scissors. What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam! Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment for Pure Entertainment.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment, only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. You need to award winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigerian, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a Max Going.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Shee. Let's go!
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink. Huh? No problem.
Okay.
I've always known this as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be,
yeah. I just said, let me give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you through your day one step at a time. On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment. Only a Max.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the top. You need to award winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a master.
Late nights on Max FM is where we help you connect the dots and put you in that place where you are ready to do it right.
We are dishing out the top hits of the week, counting down the biggest songs on your radio.
Let's go. Right now.
On Max Sports, we bring to you sporting events happening all around the world.
It's not just sports, it's entertainment.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Sheen. Let's go!
We are your go-to for hit music, entertainment, and top-notch radio all day, every day. 102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Joining us in the studio today is Dr. Okuduga Oladuni. She's a pediatric cancer advocate at the Doctors Cancer Foundation. She's a pediatrician, a senior registrar at the Pediatric Oncology Unit of Luth. We also have joining us via Zoom the director of programs, the Doctors Cancer Foundation, a board member of the International Society of Pediatric Oncology, Korede Akindele, and we're going to be speaking on childhood cancer. As we know, this month of September is a cancer awareness month, especially for pediatric cancer. And my first question will be coming to you, Dr. Oladuni, because obviously this is what you do, relating with children going through a very difficult time, as well as parents going through this very difficult time. And this month is about awareness. What would you say is the often overlooked why would you believe we need to have awareness in this month?
Okay, thank you so much for having me here. It's very good to be here. So we have to create awareness, especially in Nigeria. People don't realize that cancers can occur in children. You know, when we say cancers, a lot of people think, oh, it's adults, it's just the breast cancers and all of that. But we have to realize that children can have cancers. We have to realize that the cure rate for cancers are good. I mean, the medical doctors and the people in the healthcare system have to realize that children can have cancers and they should look out for it. So when children are falling ill all the time, often, we shouldn't just say, oh, he's always having malaria, typhoid, and all of that. We should look further and find out what exactly is going on so that we can have good outcome for these children.
Okay.
So it's very important.
We've already addressed the prevalence of it. I wanted to ask how prevalent is it in children in Nigeria? Yeah. How often do you see it present in patients that you treat?
Okay, so the data is not, we don't have a lot of data in Nigeria, but it's estimated to be about 1,000 children per year in Nigeria, but globally is about 400,000 to 500,000 children that come down with pediatric cancers. So it's quite common, yeah. So that's it.
Let me take a question to Mr. Korede Akindele. Mr. Korede, can you hear us? Fantastic. Yes, I'd like you to help us address how what is being done to improve the outcome of cancer in children, pediatric cancer, especially because we have data that in Western world the treatments survival cure rate is about 80%, and in Nigeria is about 30%. What is being done to improve that outcome in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that question. And just like Dr. Oladuni was saying, I mean, it's clear that the outcome is in Nigeria and in sub-Saharan Africa.
Oh, okay. I think there's a network challenge from his end.
So as you're waiting for him, let me ask you, so can we discuss some of the recent advancements in the treatment of the childhood cancer and how this are improving survival rates and quality of lives of the children? And then which also, let me just add this, to which cancer of the cancer is more prevalent with kids?
Yeah, so the most common cancers we see in children are leukemia, lymphomas, brain tumors, but we have different other kinds of cancers. We have like retinoblastoma, cancer of the eye, we have rhabdomyosarcoma. So those are the common ones we see here in Nigeria. So there has been a lot of progress made in the past years in pediatric cancer in Nigeria. First off, we have people who have gone for residency training. So we have pediatric oncologists. We're having more and more of those. So we have people specialized in treating, childhood cancers. For instance, in Luth, we have a very good pediatric cancer unit. So we have the latest treatments in chemotherapy, radiotherapy, immunotherapy, surgery, So we have this specialization now, and, it's improving day by day. As years go by, it's getting even better and better. So our outcome is getting better. Pardon?
If NEPA takes lights,
we have power in Luth, we have solar and all of that, so that's fine. That's not a problem.
But when it comes to the treatment, what's the rate, as in, the time frame in terms of treatment, like 6 months?
So,
3 months,
so depending on the cancers, some cancers you treat for as long as 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. So it depends, but it's usually very long. And during that time, children don't go to school, so they lose school time. So it's a lot. The burden is a lot on the family, on the children. So yeah.
We definitely will talk more about that. But Mr. Korede is back, and we'd like to have him answer that question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, so the improvement in childhood cancer, like I said, 6, 7, 10 years that we talked about more challenges. we have seen a drastic improvement when it comes to the care of childhood cancer in Nigeria. For example, let's talk about access to treatment. We are having growing numbers of pediatric oncology. Yes, we don't have the numbers that we want yet, but at least we have, like, we can say we have 70 professionals who are focused on childhood cancer care in Nigeria. It's a low number, but we are beginning to have more people interested in that. We have dedicated centers in Nigeria now. For example, in Lagos here, dedicated pediatric oncology unit where childhood cancer is being treated, and then it's a multidisciplinary engagement. We have radiotherapy access in Nigeria, which gives access to treatment. And then, for example, the training of healthcare workers too is something that has improved in Nigeria. Nigeria is now on the way to be part of the WHO Global Initiative for Childhood Cancer, which is WHO GICC, which is a laudable thing for childhood cancer in Nigeria. Nigeria is beginning to have a relationship, partnership with international organizations like St. Jude Research Hospital, which is improving the care of childhood cancer in Nigeria. So, like I said, if we will look at the percentage of where we are 10 years ago to where we are now, I would think we've moved below 30% in care. Yes, that is not what, but for example, cancers like Wilms tumor, we now have survival rate that has gone over 60% in Nigeria. So we have success stories in Nigeria from where we were coming from.
So we've been at this advocacy for years. I know I've been a member of the board of the Daughters Cancer Foundation for 2 years. Have you renewed my board membership? We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, you're still on the board.
So, but you know, I wanted you to talk about the significant policy changes that the advocacy has brought to childhood cancers awareness in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much for that question. Like I said, one of the, like I said earlier, that Nigeria is on the way to be added to the WHO Global Initiative for Childhood Cancer country. There are some focused countries that childhood cancer is, so WHO is supporting for childhood cancer, and Nigeria is on that way, and that is the work of advocacy. That is the work of opportunities like this to show professionals talking about childhood cancer. Nigeria is now one of the more focused countries in sub-Saharan Africa when it comes to the development of healthcare workers who are focused on childhood cancer, and that is as a result of advocacy. Now, childhood cancer is now part of the National Cancer Control Plan in Nigeria, which was not there before. That is the work of advocacy. That is what we've seen as part of our advocacy effort. And also, let's look at Nigeria is going to be hosting the world in 2026 about childhood cancer Congress, which has never happened before. Yeah. And all these is as a result of consistent advocacy, consistent engagement, consistent, and we believe that the galvanizing of all these international relationships, all these advocacy effort is narrowing down to that one child in Nigeria who needs to be on a national health insurance plan to be able to address childhood cancer. We are narrowing down to that child that goes to the hospital and have access.
Oh, okay, so I definitely know that I've not heard YK with any question. Do you have any question for our doctor in the studio?
Okay, I was going to ask you what advice you would give parents who have this, who are going through this terrible journey.
Just to say that when you have a diagnosis of pediatric cancer, it's sad, it's bad, but it's not the end of the world. There is hope. You know, we have children who have survived it. So something we do in Luth, we have parents and children who are at the tail end of their treatment, talk to people who are just beginning their journey. Like, look at me, I've gone through this, it's possible. So just to know that it's possible to survive, it's not the end of the world. You have support, like the Daughters Foundation, we have a lot of people coming in because, you know, financially it's draining. Some parents lose their jobs, you know, they lose all their money trying to, you know, anywhere in the world, cancer treatment is expensive. So that's, that is a challenge. But, you have help. We have people like the Cancer Foundation who helps with finances and funding and all of that. So just to say that it's not the end of the world, the survival rate is getting better in Nigeria, and there's hope.
Can I just ask you a question? So if someone had a child with cancer, they brought them to Lu through the Doctors Foundation would pay. Are you saying that?
Subsidized.
Yeah, subsidized. So yes, exactly. They fund some of the investigations, the treatments, things like that.
Some are fully funded, some are partially funded, depending on how buoyant the foundation is per time. When we review per year in the foundation, we can decide to prioritize some based on the possibility of survival.
Yeah. So, and also to say that it's not your fault, because in Nigeria people think that maybe it's something I give my child to eat, or it's a family member that is doing me, or it's from the mother's side. I don't have cancer in my family. Childhood cancers can just occur spontaneously. It's nothing you did wrong. It can happen to anybody, so I have to put that out there, because the stigmatization is real, like people just hide, I don't want to tell anybody what's going on. It's not your fault. It can happen to anybody, and once you talk about it, you can find help,
Okay, so let's talk about the healthcare. Okay.
Yeah, ask him.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about healthcare professionals, especially as regards the Japa syndrome with doctors. Our healthcare professionals, everybody's going abroad because they feel that they are paid better, they feel that they get better trainings. So let's talk about what is going on here, what resources are available to the doctors here, in improving their training and education, as regards childhood cancers.
I think we should have Mr. Korede at Kindele answer that. Mr. Korede, did you get the question? I think you're muted.
You're muted.
Okay, I think I can, should I? Yeah. So doctors remaining in Nigeria are passionate about medicine in Nigeria, to be honest, because, there's a lot of reason to leave. But I feel like there should be incentives for doctors to stay. So when you train doctors and they're, you train like a pediatric oncologist that is now leaving, that vacuum really cannot be filled so easily. So I feel like there should be incentives to let doctors stay. More training, abroad, which the Doctors Foundation to help with. We go for like conferences, what's going on in the global stage and all of that. So that's my take on that.
Also, I wanted to ask you, Maka has mentioned the doctors leaving, but YK jokingly mentioned NEPA take light during treatment. So what challenges are there that you face in the course of treatments? What other challenges?
The challenges are finances, to be honest, because sometimes they feel like Nigerian doctors don't know what to do. We know what to do, but sometimes they can't afford what needs to be done. You say, oh, do an investigation, I don't have money, and you can't just be looking at the child going away, like dying off and all of that. So I feel like the challenge is finances. So the health insurance system has to work in Nigeria. The health insurance system. Some countries actually, pediatric cancers are treated free of charge, but other countries is more expensive. But I feel like if the health insurance system works in Nigeria, that's going to, really, really help in treatment of cancers.
Let me ask Mr. Korede this question. There's a bit of feedback. So, Mr. Korede, there's a concern. Policies are being... There are policy changes. I want to find out if the advocacy of the Doctors Cancer Foundation has led to any significant policy change, and what other policy change do you believe is needed for us to effectively increase the number of survivors from childhood cancer?
Okay, so when we talked about policy changes, I think one of the things that is so important that we can talk about is the National Health Insurance Plan for children cancer to be included in it. And then, if not all the cancers, maybe some of the cancers that do affect children can be covered. Yes, some hospitals would say, okay, when a child has cancer and they come, there are some parts, there are one or two things that they can, some investigations, okay, blood product and that, okay, they can take care of. But what we are advocating, and then we're trying to let the authority know, look, if it can't cover all for the child, at least maybe some basic cancer, they can say, okay, we want to do leukemia, okay, we want to do Wilms tumor, that every child that comes up with Wilms tumor has access to an insurance package that covers this. So that is something that is very, very important. And I think before I dropped, we were talking about training, about healthcare professionals. What I think it's a critical thing, and like you said, you can't stop anybody from moving. But what we are trying to do to solve that is to create a training program that is called Pediatric Radiation Oncology courses. And what this is doing, it's not everyone that can travel, we understand. So we are trying to, we've been bringing in experts through a virtual platform to train Nigerian professionals on radiation oncology and other aspects of pediatric oncology care. So it's called Pediatric, and we've done like two of it. And then what we are trying to do now, we are focusing on the specific of it. Okay, when we are not just talking about pediatric oncology, because cancer treatment is not just a pediatric oncology that deals with a multidisciplinary. One of the other parts of it, the radiotherapy, the pathology. So we are focusing on all those aspects that improve care to develop their capacity so that we can have an improvement that we want in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Dr. Korede.
Okay, I wanted to ask him again, so how you would advise people to join the advocacy of other people?
Yes, how do we get regular people to become advocates for childhood cancer?
Exactly. Especially at this time.
Okay. The question is to me, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do you be part of childhood cancer advocacy? Number one, your voice is very, very important. To add your vote. So it's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in September. You can tweet something about childhood cancer. You can say something about childhood cancer. You can use your platform. Now, we have a platform that we have created for individuals. We call it Action for Kids. Take Action for Kids. So you can use your network to galvanize support for these children. You can use your social media platform to galvanize, because I think everyone has power through their social media, and we've seen the effect of social media. You can tweet something about childhood cancer. You can walk into the Doctors Cancer Foundation. You can tell us, okay, I want to visit the ward. How do I go there? Yes, you can do a visit, spend time with the children, and spend time with your family. You can contribute your time. You can contribute your finances. Depends on any level where you want to be part. And this is September. And there's something unique we are doing in this September that we want everyone to be part of. It is called the Sing September. So what does that mean? 6 September means sing a nursery rhyme of your choice, post it on social media, and use the hashtag Children at Road, Sing September, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. When you are doing that, we will retweet it and share it. When you are doing that, you are raising awareness for childhood cancer. So if a follower look at you and say, you are singing nursery rhyme, you can easily say, I am raising awareness for childhood cancer in Nigeria. So these are the platforms everyone can get across.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. We're definitely going to join the Sing September after the show. We'll record and post it as well. Amaka,
okay, so let's talk about post-care. So yes, because it's important, because it's one thing to go through treatment, it's another thing to, what are the biggest challenges that childhood survivors they face after their treatments, right, after their care, and how are you addressing those challenges, and what is available to them after the treatment? Because most times they have the people going to remission, and then something triggers certain thing again in their body. So what's
the challenges? Okay, so as I said, they lose school time. So what we try to do on the ward is getting teachers to teach them while they're on admission. They stay weeks, months on admission and all of that. So that's one thing we try to do. Try to incorporate them back into society, remove stigmatization. It's not a communicable disease, so we have to let people know that when they're out of treatment, it's not like they can touch you and then you can get cancer and all that. So we have to make that very important note that it's not transmittable. Yes, there's a chance that they can relapse again. So anybody that has gone through cancer treatment can have a relapse. It's possible, but it doesn't always happen. So that's why we always have to follow them up. We don't just let them go, you finish treatment, you don't see you again. No, we always follow them up 6 monthly, yearly, for life, just to make sure that they don't relapse and they're fine.
Thank you so much. So just final words from Dr. Korede Akindele. Final words. People are asking on YouTube how they can donate, how they can support.
Yeah,
we'd just like to hear final words from
our social media platforms.
Okay, let me start by saying thank you to Your View for doing it. I think we've been doing this close to 5 years now, consistently every year to raise awareness for childhood cancer in Nigeria. And for everyone out there, I just want to say, children do have cancer. Children can survive cancer, and early detection is still the best. And every parent that is watching, listening to me now, you are the first physician of your child. So pay attention to your child. When you see something wrong, don't look away. And as an healthcare worker, when a child is brought to you, look beyond typhoid and malaria. Look again. If something is wrong, refer the child to a pediatrician that can detect something early and save many lives of children in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Korede, who is the Director of Programs, the Dorcas Foundation. We also want to appreciate Dr. Oladuni,
yes.
From the Pediatric unit. She's a pediatric doctor in Luth. Yeah. Thank you for the information. And like we've all heard, this is the Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. And what we can do is to share, talk about it, post it, and let's sing. Let's do the challenge and sing about a childhood rhyme. Let's get more awareness out there because survival rate is higher when detected early. That's what we can take on this segment. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the show. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for Inter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? Think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink. I don't
overthink this thing. See where I can.
Yes, you overthink them.
I would say you should catwalk.
Let's catwalk. Where are we?
No, that's not catwalking.
That's good talking.
Hey, my people, I greet you plenty. My name is Natika Okeke.
My name is Uwi Balogun.
My name is Damilola Banire. My name is Moyo Faraway Ahmed. If you also call me Moyo, listen. And this na Abigail.
And I dare on top of your view pigeon.
I'm going to bring you bass. I don't get person will be single mother before. He carry another man show say now my husband be this.
Now what you want?
After that day, the man
you not go see him again.
If you snooze, you lose. If you miss this show, you miss out. On top this our show, I not dey gree for anybody.
When they friend the husband, you not see sign say the guys, you don't vex, don't give signs.
If they look for person we go give them to you, fact as it be.
Men no they ever get
force. If baby not there for her, na the woman.
Talk no dey be person, make person no fit talk true inside. But for this country, we know say if we open curtain in the morning, waiting no good, no good.
Me and my sisters, hey, we go tanda gidigba for inside studio to give una all the latest information.
We no even take responsibility for the children. Leave the man.
And that's some poria.
As the morning light filters in, the Max Breakfast kickstarts your day from the bedside.
We bring you the morning vibe and plenty of ginger to start your day right.
Join us on the Max Breakfast as we help you seize your day one step at a time.
On Max Hits, we've got the ultimate playlist for you. We give you back-to-back.
And all the biggest news from the world of entertainment, only on Max Hits.
Area, waiting the apple, waiting the shop. Tune into the award-winning waiting the 102.3 Max FM.
Lagos, Nigeria, you're welcome to the Max Drive.
Whether you're there for inside motor, you're there for inside traffic, we're there for you with a massive way.
You know what it is. It's the Max House Party. King Dion, DJ Charlie Shee. Let's go!
102.3 Max FM. Hit music for Lagos.
Entertainment to me is everything. Entertainment is surrounding myself with loved ones, family, watching some good television shows, TV series, listening to good music, and taking a trip around the world, seeing new places and interacting with different people, and also having a feel of different culture and people all around the world. So for me, I would say entertainment is life. It's larger than life.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. National Orientation Agency used to be a star agency in Nigeria many years ago. But in recent years, the agency can be said to have been dormant, ghost mode. Last week, the Director General Mallam Lanre assured Nigerians of a rebirth, new beginning. In this segment, we'll be setting the agenda for this vital agency, how the patriotic agency can endear itself to the hearts of many Nigerians. And joining us is the Director General himself of the National Orientation Agency, Mallam Lanre He's joining us from the Abuja studio, and we'll be digging into what we expect from the National Orientation Agency, what is the National Orientation Agency, and many more. You can join the conversation by calling us on 0810 7641 and 679. The number is on the screen. Move to the screen and call us. So, National Orientation Agency, just before we came live, Maka and I were having a conversation, and she was like, which one is National Orientation Agency? What's the difference between the NOA and the Ministry of Information? And I think there's no better way to start off this segment than having the DG himself clarify what exactly is the National Orientation Agency to inform Nigerians watching and how it differs from the Ministry of Information.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very crucial question you have asked. Let me start by saying that the act that set up the National Orientation Agency states clearly that the agency is a non-partisan agency. So in other words, it is not speaking for the governing party, but it is speaking for government. And so we have to note the difference. So which means our offices in the state, even if your state governor is governing under the PDP banner, the NOA in that state must support the government of that state and ensure that whatever policies they are doing or carrying out gets to the people. So it's a non-partisan organization that disseminates government projects, policies, and programs to the people. But that's just one side of the mandate. Along with disseminating information, we also generate feedback to government, both at the local government, at the state, and the federal level. So it's a tripartite arrangement where we have offices in all the local governments, we have offices in all the states, we have the headquarters, we have offices in FCT. So wherever we are to support the government in that particular geographical enclave. So for instance, if the governor of Abia, our NOA office there must work with that government and ensure that they communicate the government policies and programs and projects to the people of Abia State, and also ensure that they generate feedback for the governor to ensure that the governor is able to deliver on his promise. But as I said, communicating government policies, programs, and projects is one aspect of our mandate. The other aspect of our mandate is actually to mobilize Nigerians for patriotism. And when I say Nigerians, I'm not talking of the citizens alone, including the leadership, to ensure love for the country, to generate or create conditions for peace, and ensure that we mobilize Nigerians for all of us to pull together so that we can take Nigeria to that rightful place that we all desire. So whereas the Minister of Information is strictly speaking for the governing party. So that is the difference.
Different expectation of the way the answer will go. I thought that the NOA was supposed to help with changing the mindset of Nigerians concerning Nigeria. I felt it was like a reorientation kind of thing. So I didn't know it was just about disseminating information.
No.
The government
That's why I
policies.
said that is one aspect. That's why I said that is one aspect of our mandate. And I said the other aspect of our mandate is to mobilize Nigerians. So the only way to mobilize Nigerians is through value orientation, behavioral change, communication, generating conditions that will create peace and things like that. So that is the second mandate, and that is what you are referring to. So you are correct. Our other mandate is to lead Nigeria on that journey to nationhood through value orientation. So we have a dual mandate, if you would understand that. So the communication is one aspect, and the communication is also not just communicating government policies. We also generate feedback. I guess as we go along, I will be more details in all of this. We generate feedback. Every 2 weeks, I sign on what we call Pulse of the Nation. These are reports coming from all the communities, all the local governments in the country, about what people are talking about the situation in all parts of the country, about people's feelings. We get this to the president, to all the governors, to the ministers, to the service chiefs. We get this across to them. We do this every 2 weeks. So that is also generating feedback to them.
Sir.
But value orientation is the other part of our mandate.
All right.
So the two are, together in our act as what we are supposed to be focused on.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That means you have plenty work, because Nigerians have plenty complaints right now.
Feedback.
Feedback, complaint, everything is the same thing. Have you been telling the government all the kind of complaints that we have right now? People are complaining because, by the time the subsidy was dropped, inflation, food went up, petrol went up, the electricity went up. Do the government know what is inside our body right now?
Not just what is inside the people's bodies. The government know what people are talking about, because we get this across to them on fortnightly basis, as I said. But we also ensure that we explain to Nigerians the implications of not doing all of these policies. So it's a catch-22 situation. If you don't do these policies, then we are obviously heading for Armageddon, so God forbid. So these policies are necessary. So we explain that to Nigerians, as well as ensuring that we get Nigerians' feedback to the government, so that the government also can, balance, the policies in a way that they will cushion the effect of these necessary policies.
Okay, so before we move forward, can you explain to us why the agency was dormant in the first place for you to be saying now that Nigerians will feel you again? Because a lot has been happening for the past 1 year. And if you've been dormant, then and we haven't felt you. So why has the agency been dormant? Want to know.
No, the agency has actually not been dormant for 1 year. It has been dormant for over a decade.
Oh.
If you remember the time of MAMSA, because it's MAMSA that also now became NOA. During the time of MAMSA, the agency got a lot of government support because it's an agency that is so important to our well-being as a country, to our unity as a country. So if you don't support that agency, the agency cannot do anything. So successive governments have been paying lip service, to the need to support the agency. But thank God for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Since I assumed office in October, a lot has changed. First and foremost, I have been to 17 states to ensure that our staff who have become so despondent, disillusioned and dispirited, over the years, are made to realize that we have a new sheriff in place. The president is very, very much interested and committed to the issue of nationalism, to the issue of values, the issue of unity. And he was going to give us support. And that support has started coming in. And that's why Nigerians have begun to feel us. And having gotten to that stage, when the concrete foundation has now been laid for us to relaunch, that's why we had the expanded management retreat last week, when we brought all our directors and deputy directors from all over the country to Abuja for all of us to, concretize the new vision built around the renewed hope agenda, so that we can now deploy and Nigeria can begin to feel us again, as I said at that retreat. And all that we needed to prepare are on ground now. I'm happy that you are showing one of it. A lot of materials are on ground. Our people are fully mobilized in all the local governments and in all the state capitals. They are all there, ready to hit the road. And very soon Nigerians will see NOA back again.
Okay. Sir, you can predict certain reactions based on areas. And those were most of the times I felt the National Revitalizing Agency dormancy at the time more. For instance, up north, if a person were to mention the name of the prophet in conversation, some people can call it blasphemy, and you see a burning, like the case of an innocent girl at the time, I think in Sokoto. One of the northern states, if I'm not mistaken. What are you as the orientation agency going to start doing now so that this mindset of burn and kill and that would stop in those areas? Because you can predict how they would react in such an incitement or a misunderstanding, how they would react. What are you going to do as a body to start to shift their minds from such reaction to enlighten people more?
Yeah, it's not just what we are going to be doing. It's about what we have started doing. Part of the first thing I did when I got to office is to begin to strengthen the department that we call the PRS department, the Planning, Research and Statistics department. This department is very important because that is where we translate whatever feedback we have into concrete policies at the level of the agency before we even send it to the government. So when we have the feedback, we are able to isolate a location and understand exactly what we need to do. And our staff in the communities, because the advantage we have is that most of our staff are also from those communities. So people know them and they know the people. They are sons and daughters of those communities. So they are able to, they are also part of whatever feelings that we are talking about. So we have nipped a lot of things in the bud without the public getting to know, simply because we averted them by taking actions, at that level. So when we have information, we transmit to the relevant agencies of government so that they can take prompt action. So now what we are commencing from this month is to begin to educate Nigerians. And we have, as I said, in each environment, identify what the concerns are. So the messages are going to be relevant to them and to their everyday life and to their feelings and to the perception they currently have. So where they have wrong perception, we are creating messages to ensure that we change it to positive. And where they have positive perception, we are trying to ensure we reinforce the positive perception. So we have the demographics analysis of the country, we have the sentiment analysis of the different demographics, and then we have developed messages, and then a lot of materials are in place. So in the last 10 months thereabouts since I assumed office, we've created structures and platforms for us to be able to engage. As you heard the minister said during the retreat, that NOA today is one of the foremost agency, that is technology compliant. We have artificial intelligence now driving our conversation with the youth.
Okay, sir.
Because we have huge youth population. Age 35 and below constitute 76% of our population. So you must take that critical segment very seriously. So we have different platforms. If you go to the social media now, we are fully engaging with the youth to ensure, because most of these actions will be taken, most of these activities will be carried out by the youth. So you must engage with them to ensure they are better educated and enlightened, and they are not coming from a position of ignorance in some of the actions they take.
All right, sir. So I was so happy you mentioned the social media engagement platforms, and that's because we know that unlike 30 years ago, unlike in the days of MAMSA, when a jingle, just a radio jingle, can become like national anthem. Everybody is singing it, and it's so easy to make things go viral because we didn't have several channels of engagement. But now there are several channels of engagement in Nigeria. We're talking Instagram, Twitter, which is X, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. And these are the real platforms to engage majority of our population in the space of mobilizing them to see the good in Nigeria. How active are you in engaging the youth, using the youth?
Very good question. Not only are we engaging the youth, using the youth, we have brought in a lot of influencers who are working with us to ensure that our messages resonate and we are connected to this very critical audience. As we speak today, we have a number of agencies we are working with who are into digital marketing, and they are supporting us with our messages getting across. You will be surprised to know that the retreat, which was actually live on TVC, was actually live on all the social media. We were live there, and we even were live throughout the program much more than we were on television. And take X, that is Twitter, for instance. As at the time we finished the first 2 hours, we had over 50,000 people watching it live on social media. And we had engagement with over 6 million people who watch the program. So this is the level at which we have gone. But I mean, as far as we are concerned, that is just the beginning. We are going to step up, and we continue to step up on our activities to engage this audience on social media. But we have a lot we are also doing offline. Because at the end of the day, as important as the social media is, as of today, only 16.7% of the people are engaged on social media. The rest are offline. So we have a lot we have done also to ensure that we reach people right in their corners. As of today, we have gathered a lot of data on the artisans in this country, the associations of artisans, the bricklayer, the mechanic, the carpenter, the yam seller, the onion seller, name it. We have the data. If you tell me your local government and we check our record, we will tell you who is the chairperson or secretary of these artisanal associations and trade associations, the market women, development associations in the society, the civil society within the communities. We have gathered a lot of data. and our people go to their meetings fortnightly. Some of them meet on Sundays. They go to their meetings to deliver messages and also generate feedback and also give them value orientation. And the issue of value orientation is very important. And that's why we sat down about 10 months ago, realizing that all the past effort at value orientation did not actually make the mark because two things were always missing. So if I have the time, I will explain what these two things that were missing are and how we have tried to bring those two things into it now. And that is why we are ready to launch what we call the National Values Charter, which has now brought together all of this missing link and all that have been done in the past, plus what we have added to it. We have, the president is going to unveil the National Values Charter in due course. And then, but we have started the campaign anyway. So the two things that were missing in the past, one, all previous campaigns were targeted at the citizens alone. Andrew, don't check out, of the mid-80s. Nigeria, good people, good nation. Then you have change begins with me. But it takes two to fix this country. It takes the citizens and the leadership. So the citizenship, the leadership are supposed to be involved in the process of leading the journey to nationhood. So this time around, the value charter is actually an agreement between the country and the citizens, with each side, understanding exactly what its roles are. So the leadership has its own defined roles, the citizens have their own defined roles, and each side can hold the other to account on what roles you are expected to do. The major issue we have in this country is that if I say that any of you now is not a good Nigerian, it's my opinion, because a Nigerian has not been defined. We don't know the definition of who a Nigerian is. So we must have a definition for who a Nigerian is, and then the attributes that come with being a Nigerian. Then we can now be able to hold ourselves accountable when some of those attributes are not there, or yes, when we act contrary or indifferent to those attributes. So we have defined the country's, what we call the Nigerian promise. The Nigerian promise are the 7 set of commitments that this country is committed to give to the citizens. And they are well spelled out. And they capture everything, our expectations from the leadership. And in exchange for that, we have what we call the citizen codes, which also have 7 sets of commitments on the part of the citizens towards the country. So the country is giving 7 commitments, and it is asking for 7 commitments from the citizens. So we call it 7 for 7. So it is this 7 for 7 that each side will begin to implement, and then thus the journey to nationhood has begun.
Sir, I'm aware you are recently appointed DG of the National Orientation Agency. Before your appointment and since your appointment, what are the most pending issues? Because Nigeria is a country that has its highest number of population between the youth age. And we see, let me just highlight some of you, dangerous migration through the Sahel to Europe. We have some other prevalence in fraud cases. We took some on Thursday. Yahoo bid. So what are those other ones that you have seen that you think you need jingles to, to orientate our youth about now?
And to add to that one,
the most critical thing is ignorance. There's so huge, knowledge gap is so huge. So we need to ensure that the youth, especially the Gen Z and the Alpha coming after them, are quite aware of a number of things. When you go to the social media and you see the kind of conversation going on there, they are not the kind of conversation that you should get from that highly educated and versatile, generation. But the knowledge of their own country is missing. There is so much gap in it. They do not, many of the things they think have never happened, have happened before. They believe that nobody has ever stood up for this country in the past until they came. And they believe sometimes that the world started with social media. They never knew that there was a time that there was not even internet, not even color television. You know, so there's this knowledge gap that we need to bridge. So when they discuss the issue of electoral system, you see a lot of knowledge gap. When they discuss the issue of citizenship, you see a lot of knowledge gap. It is actually a knowledge gap that will make you to not differentiate between the government you don't like and your country. And so you now begin to hate your country because you don't like a government. It is knowledge gap. Otherwise, you will know that you must fight for your country. And when you don't like a particular government, it is because of your country, not now that you don't like your country because of a government. So this knowledge gap is what we need to bridge. And that's why, you know, I said two things were missing in the past effort. I've mentioned one, which is that it takes two to tango, the two sides, the leadership and the citizen. The second thing that was missing, which we have now in place, is the fact that even when you have all these things documented, clearly defined, you must create institutions for implementation. You must create institutions of nurturing, institutions to indoctrinate all of us on these values. And when you go to other countries, you find out that these things are there. The American dream has all the tenets of and the principles of value orientation, exceptionalism, pursuit of happiness, liberty, all of this. Even as a foreign student, if you go to America, you would come across this value system and they will teach you Americanness. Also, you will grow up with those values. Anywhere you go, whatever route you take, in those advanced countries, the institutions are there to nurture you on their country's values. But here, we don't have institutions that nurture us on values. So people now choose their own role models. They define what they believe to be their own concept of citizenship. You know, and this must be defined for us. So when we say, earlier, who is a Nigerian?
That's who is a Nigerian question.
We must all be able to say exactly the same thing.
Okay. Can you?
I need to ask him because you've been there for 10 months and recently the government changed the national anthem. The national anthem, for people like me who are in our 60s, we know that national anthem and we could accept it. The youth have never heard of that national anthem. What did you do to make sure that they accepted it? Because they have not accepted it though. They keep on shouting on social media that they don't accept that national anthem. What have you done to make sure they will accept that old national anthem?
Well, it will not be completely right to say they have not accepted it. What we may say is that to now live their life according to the tenet of the anthem, because the anthem was not just brought back just because of president's fancy. No. If you listen or pay attention to the lyrics, to the meaning of this national anthem, it relates to our situation in this country. And so the job of NOA is to first and foremost ensure that people understand that it is not just an anthem to be chanted. It's an anthem to use to live our lives. When you say, in brotherhood we stand, we must mean every letter of that statement. When we say, though tribes and tongues may differ, we understand the differences that we have in this country. But we are saying we are going to be responsible leaders. So these are the interpretations that NOA is embarking on. Well, first and foremost, the anthem itself is part of the value orientation that we have begun. The president is implementing what we call the National Identity Project, of which the National Values Charter is part of it. Mind you, all national symbols, NOA is the custodian of the national symbols, including the national anthem, the pledge, the flag, the coat of arms, the seal of the president, the constitution of the country, the currency, the international passport. All these are what we call the national symbols. And NOA by law is the custodian. So the anthem itself, it was brought back as part of the process of this national identity project, of which the national value system, charter, is one of it. And the 7 socialization processes that I mentioned that we are putting in place as means of nurturing Nigerians, indoctrinating us. So no matter how you grow up, you're going to encounter institutions that will nurture you on these defined values. So the national anthem itself is not just about changing it, it's about living it. So how do we live it? That is the job of NOA. And in weeks to come, because the first thing we need to do, which I will take this opportunity to enlighten Nigerians. If you listen to, there's a difference between the lyrics of the national anthem and the melody. If you go back to 1958-59, when this particular anthem was done, they called for entries. During the entries, somebody emerged. People from different countries, it was open to anybody. It just happened by, just by accident that it's a foreigner's own that was picked. Many Nigerians also pitched at that period. So after you have the lyrics, you will now create the melody, the official melody for it. So there was an official melody that was created after the lyrics at that period, during the time of independence. But this time around, we have brought back the lyrics. Are we going to still be using the official melody of 1960? No, because Nigeria has moved. If you look at our music these days, you will see that Nigerians is a leading light in terms of music all over the world. But our music is defined by certain composition in terms of percussion. So we are going to call for entries so that we are going to have a national melody. Let me wrap up this, please. Okay. We are going to have a national melody. If you go to an event today and you see the military band there, the way they play the national anthem is different from where you see the police band. It's different from where you see the civil defense band. It is not done that way. There must be an official melody, which we are working towards, so that will now become the official melody. So when they are not singing it, they play that official melody. So it is after that has been done, then it becomes what we use. The last Olympics, for instance.
Let me take this caller. I need to take this caller. I have someone, sir, I have someone on the phone that's been waiting. Just after the conversation, we continue to get more about the melody and what happened. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? Yes. So the issue is that I really appreciate the... Good morning.
We can hear you. You're live. Just continue.
Yes, I appreciate what he is saying. But what my concern is that he says 16% of the people online are youth. I have just Googled and I found out that 70% of the youth of this nation are youth. So I expect, really, honestly, that the minister or the second in command to him should be somebody within the age of 30 to 40, if our population is 70% youth, so that this message will be able to reach them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jide.
Yes.
Thank you so much. That's a very good question. I think it should be, you were making a suggestion, but we need to find out from him if it is valid. Is the DGs, how many of the DGs cabinets are less than 35?
Or 40.
Okay, we have in our agency about 4,000 staff. I can tell you that the majority are youth, and especially the people that are interfacing with the youth themselves. Our IT unit, our media unit, most of these people that interface directly with the people are youth. But let me also correct one thing he said. The 16.7% are the people on the social media, not the youth population. The youth population 35 years and below actually is 76% of our population. So those are two different things. So, but those who are on the social media there constitute 16.7% of our population, which is about 30.6 million of our population. So I need to make that clear. So, but let me also say that most of the people that we are working with, I mentioned that we have a lot of influencers we are working with.
Yes.
They are all very popular influencers who are also Gen Z, who are millennials, who some of them are actually alpha generation. So it is you don't segment in a way that you create silos. You know, there must be that handshake between one generation and the other to ensure that things work well.
All right, thank you. Let's take this caller. Sylvester, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to appreciate what the DG has been saying. Okay. They all sound quite good. But my problem with everything he's saying is that they all are theoretical. Because even the reality on ground, the National Retention Agency appears to not have done anything. Now, when you're talking that you have over 4,000 staff spread around the nation, and that you give feedback, you take feedback from the grassroots to even the highest level, you interact with the populace, you see what is going on in the country, you see how everything has skyrocketed, the price of everything has gone out of reach. And then what kind of orientation are you going to give the people to begin to bear untold hardship? Since you are agents of the government and you are in contact with the grassroots from every level of the society to the highest, it is also the duty of your organization to tell government the truth. To tell government the truth that things are not working in this country. It is not about orienting people to accept hardship, to accept something that is unbearable. But it is also telling the government that, see, sir, this is unbearable. And then as a rotation agency, you should be creative enough also to provide solutions to the government so that what we are going through now can be solved. Thank you very much.
Okay. Can I respond to that now?
Oh, okay. Let me add Nima's question. Okay. Oh, you can respond, sir.
Okay. Now, first thing, let me say that if he had joined from the beginning, I was the first to admit that it is just not 1 year. For over a decade, the agency has not been able to do much, but it's completely not to the fault of the agency. You have staff in the local government during MAMSA in the early 90s, where they had in some local government 3 vehicles to work. They could mount public address system on their vehicles. They had the resources to move around, to do their job. But I met an agency that had nothing, not a single vehicle, not even for the office of the DG to move, not to talk of any director or any state directorate or any local government, not one vehicle anywhere that you can use for anything. And so without mobility, you cannot mobilize. Secondly, no resources, no budget. If you look through the funding for the agency over the last decade plus, there has been virtually nothing for them to work. So I had the same impression before I got to NOA. But when I got there and I saw facts for myself, I knew that was not the issue. But we are lucky that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is interested in the unity, the progress, and the patriotism of the citizens, including the leadership, and is giving all the support it can give. And that's why we are able to come here today to be talking of how we are now revitalizing the agency. Then on the issue of on the issue of the hardship, these are point of views. It depends on how you are seeing it. If you need to do certain policies that will ultimately create conditions for us to make the progress we have refused to make over the decades, and those things will necessarily come with some, hardship, some pains. The job of NOA is to explain to Nigerians why those policies are important. And the job of NOA is to also ensure we impress on government the need to provide some palliative, some cushioning effect, pending when these policies will begin to mature and people will begin to see the outcome, the positive outcome of the policy. So if you say take PMS, pump price, back to 200 naira, that is an emotional decision. It can't be an economic decision. It's not going to work for this country. Ultimately, we are going to regret it. We are going to collapse as a nation. So we are at a point in time where certain policies must be made. And we are thankful that we have a courageous president who has done it, because this should have been done before him. But it was not done. And people were kicking the ball to the next person. But somebody had to take the bulls by the horns. Somebody had to face this reality. We have to face the truth and, live by that truth. The truth is that if we had continued with what we were doing before, ultimately we would have been worse off. So we are at a point in time that we need to take these hard decisions, and we thank God that this government is able to do that. But I will join Nigerians in ensuring that the government provide, some cushioning, things to the people, so that while this, is continuing, Nigerians are able to have some relief. So we generate feedback to let the government know that certain things you may have been doing to cushion the effect may not be getting to the people. This will get to the government on fortnight basis. And it is not a generic thing. It is whatever is peculiar to a particular location is what we send to government. And we send to relevant agencies also to use as feedback into their policy adjustment. So these are the things that we do. But like I said, policies are not emotional issues. Policies are based on fact, reality, and you must be able to face the truth. The truth is that you cannot go back to the era of subsidy. It will kill this country in no time. You cannot allow people to be round-tripping on our foreign currency and do all of that.
Okay,
so
sir.
This has to remain. But let me also say,
we have a caller, sir,
that in the last one,
Hassan has called in from Lekki and he has a question for you, sir. Hello, Hassan, can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. To look, please, I'm very sorry to say this. We are running government as if we are running a business enterprise. There are two different things. One is for profit maximization. One is for the maximization of objectives. The running of government is for the maximization of objectives. In the sense that, look, the way we are doing all this kind of a thing, we are not addressing the issue. We are not addressing it at all by saying that we cannot revert back to the previous price, we cannot bring back the subsidy, we cannot do subsidy. We are running government like a business entity.
Mr. Hassan, can you ask National Orientation Agency questions, sir?
No, the issue is it has to do with national orientation. Because he mentioned one thing that, look, they cannot go back to the previous price because it's not feasible. Look, it's feasible if we are serious about it. There's something wrong with subsidy. There are wrongs with the fraud that goes with subsidy. You can take away the fraud, but leave the subsidy. Subsidy is a part of social contract all over the world. Even the new world that have called us to remove subsidy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hassan. So obviously, Mallam Issa, that's a feedback for you. I'm sure you will pass it on among the next batch of feedback you are going to give to the presidency and the National Executive Council. Nima has a question for you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Waike just mentioned the issue of the new national anthem. So it is new for our generation. I didn't sing the old national anthem in primary school, and I'm in my 40s. So there's a need for the jingles to start playing so people get used to it.
You said we don't have a tune yet. We want to do tune first.
They should even be compelling.
We don't have an anthem.
That means we don't have an anthem.
But we don't have like a proper tune.
No,
they sing the old tune now. They sing the
old one. So how would you partner with media houses to see that this plays? So I leave home at 6 a.m. daily, and I enjoy when the morning shows are starting that most of the stations I tune to in my car have a national anthem playing. But since they've changed, I have not heard any of those tunes playing. I want to know what the orientation agency is doing to put this tune in our subconsciousness, as the old one was.
All right, so before the DG answers that question, let me take another question from Honorable Bashiru, who's called on the show. Hello, you're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lanre Onilu.
He can hear you. Just go ahead with your question.
Okay.
I think you were listening to the TV. So please, Nima asked the question about the tune, partnering with media houses, especially the radio, to ensure that it registers in people's minds that we now have a new tune. So when are we going to have that competition to get the melody to match the lyrics?
Yeah, that is happening almost immediately. That's part of the reason why we had the retreat.
Okay.
And not only would the country have the official melody, our people now have all the materials they need in all the communities in this country. Weeks and months ahead, you will see NOS staff in the schools, on the streets, having town hall meeting, engaging with students, engaging with youth, engaging with leaders in the market, leaders, everywhere, in the motor parks. You will see all of that playing out in the weeks and months ahead. So they have been fully mobilized to begin to do all of that. Part of what we are doing is also the new national anthem. As I speak to you, even forget about the melody, even the lyrics, people get it wrong. A lot of people do not even understand some of, they still use the wrong one. For instance, when you say tongues and tribes may differ, tongues and tribes are actually supposed to be in plural, but you still see people, not doing that. And when you say Nigerians all are proud to serve, so people say and proud to serve.
Okay.
Nigeria shall be blessed. That's not correct. Nigeria may be blessed. So there are still several areas, even in the lyrics. And so we have produced the national anthem that all over the country we will distribute, handheld, copies for people to be able to see it and have it before we now even bring in the issue of the official melody that will be used everywhere. As I was saying, that the last Olympics, they had to use the new one. So which one were they going to use? So we had to use the military version.
Oh, okay.
So the police had his own version. Everybody has their own version.
We're looking forward to the unified version. We're looking forward to the unified version. I went online on Instagram and I saw the citizen codes. I think it is something every Nigerian should get to familiarize themselves with. I didn't even know that we had a Nigerian citizen code. So thank you so much for the good work you're trying to achieve with the National Orientation Agency. Of course, we wish you the best. And we would love to see you when you now have more evidence and feedback concerning what the agency has achieved maybe in a few months from now. Thank you so much for joining us, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Mallam Lanre Onilu. All right, that's all we can take on the show today. It's been a very packed show from cancer to orientation. Please do not forget that this entire month of September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. So let's do what we can, contribute to foundations that are supporting cancer and childhood cancer, and do your own part to raise awareness for it, as well as be patriotic. Get to know your citizenship code as a Nigerian. See you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, ladies.